Imagine stepping into the Grand Palace of Versailles in the 17th century, where you are surrounded by unimaginable luxury. But there's a catch. The lavish palace had no bathrooms. Yes, you heard that right. No bathrooms. Between 1600 and 1700, the Palace of Versailles may have been home to French royalty. But hygiene was far from a royal affair. No toothbrushes, no deodorants, not even toilet paper. The lack of modern amenities meant that human waste was tossed directly out of windows onto the streets. Before throwing waste out the window, people would often yell "Gardes low," which translates to "watch out for the water." This term eventually evolved into the word loo. Even during grand feasts for 1,500 guests, hygiene standards were appallingly low. And if you ever see pictures of people in old paintings fanning themselves, it wasn't just to beat the heat. It was to mask the terrible odors under their skirts and from their bodies, as showers were rare and water was scarce. Only the wealthy could rely on servants to fan them, which not only helped with the smell, but kept the flies and bugs away. And if you were lucky enough to attend a grand court event, you might have noticed that the beautiful gardens weren't just for leisure. They were also used as makeshift bathrooms, since there were no restrooms. Speaking of weddings, did you know that most marriages in medieval times were held in June? The reason? People would take their first bath of the year in May. So by June, the smell was still bearable. Brides, to cover up any odors, would carry a bouquet of flowers. And thus, the bridal bouquet was born. Baths were taken in large tubs filled with hot water, but only the head of the household could bathe first. Then, each family member bathed in order of age, with the newborns bathing last. By the time the youngest took their turn, the water was so dirty it could be life-threatening. Homes were no better. Many houses had roofs with exposed wooden beams. That became homes for rats, cockroaches, and even cats and dogs. When it rained, those animals would fall into the house, bringing even more chaos. And food. Many people eat from tin plates. But did you know tomatoes were once considered poisonous? They would react with the tin, causing fatal poisoning. People also drank from tin glasses, and the chemical reactions with alcohol could cause a state of unconsciousness. In fact, people were sometimes mistaken for dead, leading to a bizarre tradition. This tradition? The wake. The deceased would be placed at the kitchen table, where loved ones would wait and watch eating, drinking, and hoping the person would wake up. But the real reason for this was even more chilling. In England, space in cemeteries was so limited that graves were reused. When opening old coffins, people often found scratch marks inside the lids, indicating the deceased had been buried alive. To prevent this horrifying fate, a bell was placed outside the tomb, with a rope tied to the deceased's wrist. If they woke up, they could ring the bell. And this practice gave birth to the phrase, "saved by the bell," something we still say today. So while today we admire the beauty of Versailles, its history is filled with fascinating and often grotesque details. It's a reminder that luxury, even at its peak, came with some serious imperfections.